It is 1890. You reach for the medicine. A soothing syrup for teething. Within minutes, the baby sleeps. It works every single time. Because it was full of opium, and she had no idea. This was not rare. It happened to millions of babies. So how did this become normal? Victorian life was brutal. 1 in 4 babies died before the age of 5. Mothers worked long factory hours. Someone had to keep the babies quiet. Some were left at crowded baby farms. A quiet baby was seen as a healthy one. The syrup was the answer. It cost pennies and needed no doctor. You bought it beside the groceries. You could even order it by post. So what was actually in the bottle? Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup, one of the most popular medicines in the world, sold by the ton year after year. Each ounce held grains of pure morphine, enough to sedate a grown adult. Godfrey's cordial, liquid opium sweetened with treacle, Dalby's carminative. One was sold as infant's quietness. The label said safe from the first day of life. Every one of them, opium, often laced with alcohol too. Then, in 1898, a new product. From the same lab that gave us aspirin, heroin. Named for how heroic it made patients feel. Sold as a cough syrup for children, in an age when coughs killed. Marketed as a safe, non-addictive medicine. It was stronger than the morphine it replaced. And doctors handed it out freely. Sold in any shop, no prescription. So why did anyone allow this? It was the golden age of the patent medicine. There were no laws. Medicines never listed what was inside. The recipes were guarded trade secrets. And newspapers lived on the advertising money. So nobody printed a warning. The adverts even claimed doctors recommended it. Mothers were dosing babies with narcotics and could not have known. Now watch what it did to an infant. Opioids bind to the brainstem, the part that drives every breath. It tells the lungs to slow down. An infant brain is still forming, far more vulnerable than an adult's. An adult dose in a tiny body. The line between calm and coma was thin, and every dose was a guess. Many babies simply slept too deeply and never woke up. But there was a darker loop. Babies built tolerance fast, so it took more to keep them quiet. Between doses came withdrawal, which looked exactly like sickness, mistaken for teething or colic. So mothers gave even more syrup. Infants were dependent before they could walk. This killed babies by the thousand, across Britain and America. The deaths were given a gentle name, overlaid. Smothered by accident, they said. Coroners blamed anything but the syrup. The medicine was never named. Later counts ran into the tens of thousands. Then came the reckoning. A handful of journalists refused to look away. One expose, 1905, tore the industry open. It named the brands and their poisons. A government chemist tested doses on volunteers. Chemists proved what was inside and printed it for every mother to read. The public was horrified. So a law was written. Medicines finally had to list their contents. Years later, opiates were restricted outright. In 1911, doctors named it a baby killer. Slowly, the bottles came off the shelves. The opium was quietly removed. But a whole generation had been raised on opiates. We tell ourselves this could never happen now. Then, in the 1990s, a new painkiller arrived, marketed, once again, as non-addictive. The exact same word. It helped ignite the opioid epidemic. We still trust the word on the bottle. They were not trying to harm their children. They just believed what the label told them. The most dangerous lie in medicine has always been the word safe.